It's nice to see characters who have lived full lives and in whom that doesn't have to be sort of an ending. It doesn't have to be, oh, you've lived your life and it's over now. It can be, you've lived your life, you've had a really shitty time, you've lost a lot, and now you can still heal and love, sort of learn to sort of...
What if it just begins again?
It just begins again!
I think that's why so many people... Hey, you guys, welcome back. This is the episode I'm calling The Lore of the Ring, where we are talking about the aftermath of the big canon detail that we revealed about Izzy's ring and the realization from Con O'Neill himself that the ring that he wears around his neck on the neckerchief is something that he was going to give to someone. So this was a big thing, big day for the podcast. We want to explore the aftermath, the fan reaction. We want to explore theories. And we also have some more lore to drop. Right?
Yup.
No?
Yes.
Yes?
That was a
okay,
yup.
We're not going to drop it yet, but we have more ring-related lore from Alex Sherman, legendary TV writer Alex Sherman. Is that right, Ringa?
Yes. I don't know if we'd call it lore per se, but it's just some added commentary on the ring.
And is it something that the fans have heard before, or is it all new?
It's something that no one has heard from someone who means something. It's honestly, some of it is things that we've heard in canon, which we'll talk about here, but have not heard from a writer or cast member or something. So it's interesting.
Oh, cool. So we're going to hold off on revealing that. So as we sit down to record this, it's now been 100 days since Our Flag Means Death has been canceled.
That's a lie.
My heart.
How are we feeling about that?
That's so many days.
Feelings, reactions. Does this, where are you feeling now on the possibility of more to continue? Where is everyone standing now in their hearts and their minds?
It's a huge bummer. I love the show and I love the community that grew up around it. And that's what I'm holding on to, because those are people that I get to continue to be with and I get to continue to have them in my life. And so basically trying not to have a massive breakdown over it.
I just actually remembered I had a David Jenkins stream last night. I had a dream.
Who hasn't?
As you were talking, I was just thinking this. I had a David Jenkins stream that I was watching his new show and then I was in it because that's how dreams work. And it was, it's just coming to me now. It was the X-Files, but it was told from the point of view of the aliens.
Oh.
And it was a comedy. There was a lot of traveling and driving around in cars.
The regular
it's supernatural.
That's all I remember. Yeah. Okay. So how about this? Let's turn the negative feelings around. And we have a new segment on the show. I'm going to call this Validation from Strangers on the Internet.
Love that.
That's a good segment.
I need
title.
it.
It keeps me going every day.
We get fan letters.
Oh,
You guys,
Yay.
fan letters. So
So
I'm going to do
popular.
this. I'm going to read the words of the people. I'll keep this anonymous. And if you guys out there who are listening want to send us fan letters and you want your name said, just let us know. But if you send us stuff, I'm just going to keep it anonymous just for that. So this one says, I just wanted to throw a thank you to the podcast. I picked it up recently and actually watched Our Flag Means Death all the way through starting late last year. Finished the second season the day before it was non-renewed and debuted my cosplay the day the show was officially canceled.
Oh my God.
That's brutal.
I thought you said this was going to be a lightning segment.
It continues. I found the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I binged almost all the episodes. I love the deep dives, the character talk, and hearing about about our personal projects. It does my heart good, and I just wanted to extend my thanks.
Aw, that's so sweet.
And here's another one. Your podcast has given me new inspiration for writing fanfics again, and I absolutely love you all. I could write a whole long speech about how much I love the podcast and how great it has inspired me as a writer, as well as given me something new to look forward to with the fandom, despite the devastating news for Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, that's so sweet. So yeah, everyone, just be aware we're not other podcasts. We want you to tell us how great we are. Some people are, oh no, you can skip all that at the beginning. No, you don't have to skip that. You can tell us how great we are. We want to hear it.
By the way, Tessa, are you drinking wine as well? Are we both drinking wine from our stemless wine glasses?
Yes.
The wine note. I'm drinking an Arizona green tea.
Cheers.
So we have now contributed to fandom lore, and people are now writing fanfics based around the new information about Izzy's ring. And during the mini-sode that I recorded last week, I recorded If You'll Have Me by M. The Stan, which is a tearjerker. And I check it out. They did such a great job with it. And then 5 ways Izzy could have given away the ring, and 1 way we're deciding he actually did, by Little Fingies and Rimbound Official. And it's a good old 5 things plus 1. You'll have to guess who are the 5 people that Izzy might have given the ring to, who's the one that he actually did. You'll have to listen or read the fics in the show notes.
It's really good. I listened to it last night or 2 nights ago, maybe. Yeah, and it's you did such a great job. And yeah, the fics are really good, and they're nice, quick little guys, so you can listen on your lunch break.
And Ringa, I'm sure you were following the reaction on Twitter to our 2 weeks ago now episode.
Yeah, it's been nuts. Everyone's freaking out.
So satisfying how excited everyone was. There were 1 or 2 comments that had me tripping a little bit, which was people wanted the lore, but they said they don't have time to listen to a podcast. Don't have time to listen to a podcast. No one makes time to listen to a podcast. That's not how podcasts work.
Correct.
You listen to a podcast while you're doing other things, while you're making dinner or you're driving to work or you're doing your laundry. The who out here is sitting down in their living room with their palms planted on their thighs, putting on their podcast listening apron and little T20s Nebraska family gathering around the wireless radio after a long day of wheat harvesting, listening to, putting
wheat harvest.
I'm just saying, putting all your time and all your focus and making time to listen to a podcast. It's making eye contact with your stylist while they're shampooing your hair.
Oh, no.
The only thing creepier than making time to listen to a podcast is signing an email, best regard. The only thing creepier than making time to listen to a podcast is following someone on Instagram and then hearting each one of their pictures and their reels. The only thing creepier.
0 laughter. We all do that.
Right. Absolutely kind of do it. Sorry. I'm a kind of Carter.
The only thing creepier than making time to listen to a podcast is ordering an Uber. And then when your Uber arrives, you open up the front seat and you sit in the seat
Listen, I do
next
that.
to your Uber driver.
Listen, I just wanna have friendly conversation.
The only thing creepier than making time to listen to a podcast is when you're doing your laundry and there's that bug in the corner of the laundry room that has 10,000 different little feet. And then you're pulling your laundry out of the dryer and I really have to make sure I pay attention to that prehistoric creature that's on the corner of my laundry room. I hope it doesn't get in my laundry, but then you look away for a second and the little bug creature is gone.
Oh,
Anyway.
oh no.
No, I like that guy. I like that guy.
I'm a bug person.
Yeah.
We have daddy long legs around here, and
I love those.
I love them not just because they have daddy in their name.
We got to get back on track. This is my fault. I
Don't worry.
fully admit. Okay, so co-hosts.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce you in a second, but first we're going to go around. What is the most gay pirate thing to happen to you this week?
This past weekend, I got to swing back up to LA and hung out with 3 gay pirate friends throughout the weekend, and that just made me immensely happy, especially considering the fact that 100 days is a very long time to be away for the war.
Irene, what about you? What's the most gay pirate thing to happen to you this week?
I got my second gay pirate tattoo.
Yay!
And on Saturday, and you'll see it sort of.
It's the shark.
It's
the
the
shark.
wooden shark. And I had my tattoo artist put some little wood shavings, and on the inside of the wood shavings, it's rainbows. So it's my little pride shark.
I just had an idea.
Yeah.
For those of you who are sitting in your living room with your little pinafores on listening to this podcast, you should be clutching your podcast rosary beads. And then at the end of the Our Flag Means Death podcast rosary beads, it's the little wooden shark. Instead of Jesus on the cross, it's the little wooden shark, right?
You know, it makes me want to whittle. It makes me want to, not that I need an excuse to play with knives, but
whittling is a great activity to have while listening to a podcast.
You're right.
Ringo, what's the most gay pirate thing to happen to you this week?
Past weekend was still CityCon. That's always, super pop culture, fandom, nerdy, whatever, because you get to see all your friends who do cosplay.
Tessa, who is wearing the depression robe and a shirt that says Daddy.
Hello.
What's been the most gay pirate thing to happen to you this week?
I did, with a friend of mine, stop a woman from jumping off a bridge.
Yes, tell us the story. You stopped a woman from jumping off a bridge.
Yes, my friend and I were out for a walk. She had just gotten back from a research trip in Sweden, and it was a very lovely day. We went out, we were walking, and we had just decided to go and get ice cream. Very, very wholesome gay pirate activities. We started crossing this bridge, and as we were crossing, a woman walked across the path right in front of us and started climbing up over the barrier.
Oh, geez.
Yes, and we were
what was she? What was she dressed? What did she look like?
She was wearing a hoodie, a dark colored hoodie, sort of light black, dark gray, and sort of a pair of gray trousers.
And did she look like a student?
She was in a somewhat altered state.
Okay.
She was. So there's a pretty severe opioid crisis in Alberta right now, and so she was definitely not entirely herself. She was very upset. As you might imagine, there was a man with her who was sort of trying to stop her, but in a way that was escalating things. He kept grabbing her in a headlock.
Oh, geez.
Yes. And so my friend and I,
geez.
And so my friend and I were just, okay, let's not do that. Let's be gentle. At which point, of course, he started shoving me. And so we managed to get her down off the barrier, at which point she turned and ran straight into traffic. And my friend very valiantly dove out after her.
Oh my gosh.
Just was stopping traffic, all of these oncoming cars. And
your heroes.
Gina just going across, stop. And then, so she prevented the woman from jumping over on the other side. And then I followed her over as well. And she ended up sort of going halfway down this rather steep embankment. And I just followed her down and ended up giving her my hair tie because she at a certain point asked if I had a hair tie. And I do, in fact, and it's yours now.
I can relate to not having a hair tie and just wanting to. But anyway, so no, this is a serious thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You are a hero. You saved someone's life.
Yeah, it was an intense. It was an intense kind of day. It was an intense experience. I ended up calling her mom for her, and we sort of kept her mom on the phone until emergency services got there and took her to the hospital. Yeah,
you did the heroic thing by staying there, not just waiting until she was out of immediate danger, but you stayed there the whole time.
Yeah.
A hero.
I mean, I can't leave a person in that situation. I can't. I'm Jesus, what am I going to do? Leave and then never know what the hell happened and never know if she was okay. And, so we just stayed with her until then. Oh my God, the dude was such a dick. He was just hovering
no.
over us the entire time, trying to pull her away and trying to make her leave before emergency services got there. Yes, yeah, exactly. And trying to give me shit. But also, I knew that I had made an alliance with her when she started telling him, don't talk to the lady bat.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
done. Gosh. And how did you feel afterwards? Did you have that adrenaline?
Oh God.
Of like,
yeah, no, both Gina and I were just having that sort of adrenaline crash. So we went and got ice cream. Mostly we just felt, do you know when you just feel you're kind of floating?
Yes.
Sort of you're slightly absent from yourself.
yeah, you're not in your body. You're watching like a movie.
Yeah.
So let's introduce
Yeah.
you guys. Ringa Sunn is here again, bringing us new lore, canon lore from the people in the Our Flag world. Welcome, Ringa. What's going on in Pittsburgh?
Oh, we're flooding again. I know the first time I was on this a month ago, we were flooding, I think. The last time we had dried up and now we're flooded again.
Huge.
And new on the podcast is Tessa, who successfully climbed into her apartment and is also a writer. So Tessa, are you coming from Alberta?
Yes, currently at the University of Calgary, but I'm going to be transferring to Queens immediately. So I will be in Ontario shortly.
Excellent. There were a lot of podcast downloads from Edmonton, Alberta. And so we were trying to visualize what those people look like and the mooses that they had to punch in the face in order to get to.
They're very
Dozens.
bendy.
Why didn't you go
Dozens,
find
yes.
a moose to help you onto your balcony?
They're not trustworthy. You can't trust a moose.
Yay, Canada representation for the first time. You're the first Canadian we've had on the podcast. Also, Irene Adler is on the podcast. Irene is a very famous cosplayer and
She of the purple chest hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
very
a
happy to
writer
be
as
here.
well.
Yes, absolutely. I was supposed to be here last week and I had something come up, so I was so glad to be invited back, and absolutely complete Con O'Neill simp. Absolutely just Izzy lover.
Yep.
And glad to be here.
And are you an LA local type person?
Yes, I am in LA. I've been in LA for a couple of decades. Currently working on my script. So fun thing to be working on. Yeah.
As we all do in LA. LA is home to the billboard that is still up.
Yes, we're still holding the fort down.
We're holding the fort down with our billboard on Hollywood Boulevard at the corner of Gramercy Place and Hollywood Boulevard. I went by there yesterday on my way home from work and it was still there.
I feel like we should get a chain and sort of put ourselves physically chain ourselves to it and just not let them take it down.
Or
like
how about
now.
Yeah, yes. Or everyone in LA tag David Jenkins and say, schedule a day, David Jenkins, for all of us LA people to gather around the billboard and let's all just hang out. Let's all hang
100%.
out.
Let's do it.
Okay. And Carly Delso Saavedra is also on the pod. And Carly, what are you doing right now? You're in your car, you're waiting for your improv class after this is all over.
Yeah, it starts right after we're done here, so I gotta go.
We'll get into the new kind of lore dump that happened this week is Amy Fu Yu on Tumblr, who also read the season 1 Our Flag scripts, made a list of additional things that they noticed in the scripts, and I thought we'd talk about them. So they wrote, here are the small changes / things I noted reading the scripts for the first 10 episodes of Our Flag Means Death. Steed keeps calling Lucius Marcus.
Oh my God. That just seems an excuse to have Lucius be even more bitchy. But I don't know. I don't know about that one.
And also leads to, who was Marcus? Did Steed replace a Marcus at some point with Lucius? Or did Marcus leave and then Lucius replaced Marcus?
I think Steed just couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, I know.
And just made up a new one.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Steed, doesn't like being called Steve, right? But has no problem calling Izzy Iggy. So, it'd be interesting if he called Lucius Marcus.
We love Steed, but
Steed has a lot of, he is. He does the stuff
that's why we love him.
Right.
Roach was named Salty.
Oh,
that.
yeah, no, I don't that.
Huh.
Frenchie in the script actually speaks French. Frenchie actually speaks French.
I don't hate that, but you know what? I kind of him being called Frenchie for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
How Spanish Jackie is just
I just
don't know.
assumed he was
Yeah.
really good at French kissing. That's my
Ah.
personal headcanon because
Yes.
Joel Fry's
that.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
He'll never
And-
tell.
And these next few are for the Izzy people. So I
Right.
especially want your reaction. Izzy is described as cat-like. How does that make you feel?
Correct. That
Yeah.
is correct. He is very,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
prickly, he's sinuous,
He's a little bitch and he'll cut you.
he'll
I
cut you.
feel-
Yeah,
I mean,
that works.
I feel he's more of a Shiba Inu, honestly.
Oh,
Like
yes.
dog.
Very loyal.
Yeah.
He is, but cats can be loyal too.
Oh, yeah.
But shifty, you know?
But
Like-
see, look, here's the thing. He is cat. He's just dog with Ed.
It's
He's
true.
just
So
Ed's
I'm
dog.
this is the thing.
Sorry about your hearts.
I can't stop sexualizing Ed calling him dog, and that's why
Oh,
I'm just like,
yeah, I love that. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
The
Very
tri-
normal.
very normal,
About
very
that.
normal. So
the
normal.
tribe leader breaks up Izzy and Steed and makes them introduce themselves.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my
So that-
god,
love
I
that.
love
that
that.
probably leads into the whole Izzy helping them to dislodge the ship thing.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
that's really funny.
I love that.
That's
I
really
love
funny,
that.
actually.
That'd be
I mean,
amazing. I can
do
just
love
see
how it-
both of their faces and how absolutely deeply annoyed they both are, that they just hate it with all
Yeah.
of their beings.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can imagine them. I can imagine him making them shake hands and them having the most competitive, aggressive handshake.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fic opportunities there, either with Steed and Izzy being marooned together on a desert island, and
And there's so
in the-
many.
yeah,
There's so many of
Sweet,
those.
sweet Stizzy.
Oh god, I love it so much.
but
I love you
that
so much.
scene where the indigenous people can be the audience and can be, oh no, these two need to introduce each other, and the indigenous people are shipping them, you know, and
Right.
I think that
Who
could be
wouldn't?
really fun.
Right.
Who
It's
wouldn't?
very wise.
If we were in old school 21 episodes per season land,
Oh my God.
and
if
we
only.
had filler episodes, I feel there would be a filler episode where Steve and Izzy get on a desert island together, and then the indigenous people are us, the audience, and they are okay. First, you guys have to make friends and make them make friends, and then they're creating different scenarios for them to eventually romantically entangle.
Oh yes, there's 8 billion million fanfics. This absolutely. I'm on
My
it too.
idea is
Wait.
unoriginal,
It's
Ringa.
not, it's not. You just need to read more Stizzy fanfic.
This is true.
Apparently,
And it's a like
I actually
It's like-
haven't read any Stizzy.
Stizzy's such a good flavor.
It's
it is.
So
And it's
y'all
also
are
like-
gonna
Bitch for bitch.
yes,
you guys are gonna recommend me some today
yes.
at some point. Oh,
Yes.
Tessa, I interrupted you.
Oh no, I was just going to say that. I mean, there may be 10 million fic with the vibe, but there could be more.
Exactly.
There
Always
should be more.
Yes,
should
there's
be more.
never enough. Never enough. Yes.
We talked about this last week. Izzy, Fang, and Ivan help get the ship unstuck. Blackbeard's room is described as looking it were decorated by David Lee Roth, were he a pirate in 1717. I don't know what that means. Can someone
I-
explain that to me?
I just take that as kind of leather, feminine, gender extravaganza.
It's also trying just a little bit too hard.
Maybe.
Yeah, those high kicks.
Jim?
Right.
Glam rock.
Yes.
I feel. Listen, Ed is very cool, and I love him, but he is queen of trying too hard.
Yes.
Yes.
The little
absolutely.
jump. that he
Oh, the
does
little
down,
jump.
Like,
Lord.
oh,
But the thing
Honey.
is, everyone claps at him when he does that shit. Everyone's, oh my God, so impressed until they aren't. You know, until they aren't in season 2 when they're all mad at him, and then he's
I mean, to be fair,
True.
they're all mad at him because he's, doing a little
exactly
murder
That's the thing.
suicide.
It all falls apart so quickly.
Because you have to keep pouring validation into Ed, or he goes insane and kills everybody.
Yep.
Relatable.
And you wonder why Izzy is so tired.
Jim
So relatable.
steals Spanish Jackie's hand. How do we feel about that?
Who does? Jim.
Jim steals Spanish Jackie's hand.
Oh my God. Oh man, I really like Jim and Spanish Jackie hanging out. That could have definitely led to some more
I'm just going
sexually
porny in my head on
charged.
this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Very dirty.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I
that
feel
would
like-
be interesting to see then if Spanish Jackie has a whole bunch of backup hands that do
Ooh.
different things.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah.
I feel that would have led to some really fun shenanigans, and
Yeah.
I fucking love shenanigans.
Yes.
Mm.
I am pro that.
Pro shenanigan.
Yeah.
Pro shenanigans. I mean, obviously.
Okay, this
Right.
this is the big one that I feel not enough people on the internet made a big deal out of. This next one. The crew put up a flag saying "We love Ed" and cheer for him after he returns to the Revenge without Steed.
What?
It's not immediately after he
Wait,
returns,
what?
but after Ed does a little bit of sulking in the depression robe. So
so
Ed returns to the ship.
okay.
He does his sulking,
Mhm.
his pillow fort thing, and
Okay.
then the crew, to cheer him up, make a big ol' thing that says
Okay,
"We love
that makes
Ed."
sense. Yes, and then they have their little sing along. Oh my God.
Talent show.
Could you imagine how annoyed Izzy would be
Yeah.
if they had done that?
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like the reason that's not in the script is because Izzy would absolutely have a stroke
Yeah.
and just die, and then the character couldn't be in any further
His
episodes.
eye wouldn't stop twitching.
It couldn't. Yeah.
I was just kind of thinking if they did all that, then we would hate Ed so much, unforgivably, for pushing Lucius off the ship and for going super, because they told him if they gave him love in that way, and then he rejected it. It would be kind of makes Ed unforgivable.
Well, I
Bold
think
of
it
you
would-
to assume that I've ever forgiven Ed.
This is
Right?
Yes.
I think that honestly, if they'd done that, it would have made everyone who hates Izzy hate Izzy more, because according to them, Izzy's the problem. He's the reason that, Ed went psycho. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel the crew, even though they were trying to be supportive of him and stuff, they also were cautious because he's nuts.
Yeah, he is nuts.
Even when he's not absolutely crazy, he's still Lucius's face the whole time they're in the little tent together.
You never get a very stable vibe off of Ed.
No,
Mhm.
never.
No.
Never
Mhm.
once. No.
So the ghosts of Badminton 1 and 2 still haunt Steed.
Yes.
Love
we
it.
were
That's
missing
fun.
a badminton in season 2.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And
100%.
the Badminton sister has to come in
Yep.
season
Yes.
3, played by Rory Kinnear. And
Yep.
we
Oh
also
my
have,
God, yes.
we also
I
have
also
to-
want 2 little children also played by Rory Kinnear
Well,
that are the
Oh my
children that
God.
he probably had.
Have you
That's-
seen the movie? Have you seen the movie Men? The A24 movie
Yeah,
where
I
Rory
sure
Kinnear
have.
plays all of the men,
All the
including
creepy
children?
men.
Yes.
Including the little kids.
I mean,
yeah,
he's really good at it.
he is. Yes. I want to see the funny version of that.
Right.
Not
we
the
have
horrifying version of that.
Yes.
we have so many to get through. I'm probably going to cut a lot of this. Buttons keeps calling Izzy, Fang, and Ivan ghosts.
I mean, that
Amazing.
tracks. He
Yeah.
asks everyone repeatedly whether they're ghosts
Filthy
or phantoms.
phantoms.
But I wonder if Button sees something in them that is otherworldly. And I wonder if that's if we're seeing death for them.
Interesting.
And
I just see it when Button says that as he can't trust what he's seeing in front of him, and so is asking
Like
like,
that guy that's done a little bit too much acid.
Yes.
He's never really sure what's going on.
yeah.
Yes.
He's done the pirate equivalent of acid.
He sees so much shit that he's just ghost guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
okay.
Buttons has done so much pirate acid.
Yep.
So much pirate acid.
Ivan says he has always felt hemmed in by expectations of gender.
Oh.
Right.
I
Yeah,
love
that's great.
that.
We said
Yeah.
in the last episode about how Ivan had some kind of a chat with Jim in what was cut about gender.
Mhm.
And yeah, I wish they would have. Ivan needed more time. They all need. We just need to redo everything with 25 extra episodes per season
Mhm.
Yes.
so we can have all these extra little bits.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and oh, by the way, Gus Kahn, who plays Ivan, is doing a
Mhm.
show in LA on the 24th.
Yeah, and
and
Samba's
I'm
opening.
opening. Yep, I'm gonna
Yeah.
see what's going on in my life. I have a feeling I'm gonna be not available, but we'll see. I will try to make it out.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
The crew, this is also wild. The crew hosts a support group that it looks like doesn't include Ed, Steed, Izzy, Lucius, or Buttons that talk, and they talk about gender. So everyone except Ed, Steed, Izzy, Lucius, and Buttons talk about gender.
I
So
feel like
who's the lead?
Lucius should
So
be
that's
in that
Pete.
group.
Pete's in there talking about gender.
Oh my god.
Ivan, Jim, Frenchie, Roach,
Swede.
Swede.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
We needed more little crew moments.
We
Most
did.
cut scenes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Most of the scripts are 37 to 38 pages long. And as someone who got snapped at for my comedy script being 32 pages long, I respect someone who is brave enough to go over the word count or the page count.
Is 37 pages too? What is an average for
I
So
think
a show?
Yeah, I think a page is a minute, right?
yeah,
About
Okay.
I got yelled at for my comedy script being over 30 pages, even just by a little, because per the DGA payment guidelines, even just a minute over 30 puts you in a completely different salary bracket. So to keep costs at a certain level.
Isn't that fun how they do that with art?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's going to cost more money. You're not allowed to have that story.
Yeah.
Such a fun industry.
They probably just with this cast with Taika and Reese were, well, they're just going to do whatever they want anyway. So who cares how many pages there are?
Yeah, I wonder if there was like a little bit more
room
freedom
for
in the
Trump?
beginning with Taika involved. Oh, Taika's involved. So
Probably. Yeah.
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 La, la, la. We talked about the Revenge having a chore wheel. Lucius sketches Ivan, not Fang. Fang is the one cleaning the barnacles.
Oh no.
No.
I need that scene of Fang is one of the most beautifully sweet, funny, adorable moments in the entire series.
Yeah.
He just has that energy so good, and he just looks so happy and so giddy and sweet.
Yeah.
Izzy notes the chemistry between Steed and Ed.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
Izzy has eyes.
And I don't know what this means. The fucking on deck or overherding scene isn't here.
That's the run me through scene.
To run me through.
Where he goes up in the crow's nest. Yeah.
Oh.
Where he thinks they're fucking, but they're not.
Okay.
Which that can't be cut. That's a great
when
scene.
he has like
It also lends more credence to my theory that Izzy is absolutely a masochist if he hears that and he thinks that's sex noises.
Yes. Also, it gives a lot of depth to why he hates Steed continually, and
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
such a funny scene anyway.
because he wants to be domed by him.
Yep.
Yes, correct. That is the correct answer.
Izzy and Ed do laundry together and talk about.
Oh my god! Wait,
Steed.
what?
Izzy and Ed do
heart.
together.
My heart. Why do we not have that? I literally.
Because can you imagine Ed trying to do laundry though?
Yeah.
It would
It's Ed just messing up laundry horribly, and then Izzy taking his socks and folding them properly.
Yes,
and it's just so
picking up
aggressive.
A piece of clothing and starting to do something with it, and Izzy just taking it out of his hand, washing it correctly. Yes,
it's such a married couple scene too.
Oh my god!
Ivan wants to seduce sailors and kill the Dutch.
Who doesn't?
Right? Yeah.
Practical.
Relatable.
Interesting.
Izzy is the one who suggests the fuckery end with the Kraken to cause Ed to break down.
Oh no!
That's mean, and he would never do that.
I don't think so. No.
Ed hides under a table and not in a bathtub.
No, at a bathtub.
The bathtub's better.
No, I'm just no, reject. No, this is about my personal opinion.
Izzy calls Steed a boob. Izzy calls Steed a
He's one to talk.
I know. I know. I can't. Con O'Neill is not contractually allowed to call anyone else a boob.
No.
Steed and Ed's feet touch instead of kiss in episode 9. We're so glad that the kiss happened.
Right.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Steed, this is the big one. Steed leaves a note for Ed instead of just not showing up entirely.
Well, that would change everything.
And it says, "Dearest Edward, I can't. I'm sorry. Yours always, Steed."
Ouch. That's actually even way more painful, actually.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yikes.
Because
Yikes.
at least with him disappearing, there's always that little tiny thing of maybe something happened and maybe something, but sorry, I am overtly rejecting you.
Yeah, that gives Ed way more clearance for what he did, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas right now you can be, did you look for him? Did you know,
literally just spend 10 minutes looking for him?
have you met this man? Do you know that he's going to do the stupidest thing possible as soon as he's by himself?
Yeah, this man is a living train wreck. Maybe he just got lost. He could have fallen in a fucking hole on his way.
Yeah, he's
to the
probably in a hole.
Probably in a hole.
Sorry.
And it really makes me wonder, why didn't we get to see the letter? Because I feel that would have explained too how over the deep end Ed goes.
Well, they wanted to make it both of their faults, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
I do also, I feel, I mean, in terms of what happens, when would Steed have time to write a note?
Right.
He is, unless they had him writing the note before he gets kidnapped.
Which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because at that point,
yeah,
this man is fully dissociating. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing or where the fuck he's going. He has walked barefoot across an island.
Yeah. As soon as the gunshot happens, he is just not in his right mind anymore. So he wouldn't have time to write a note. But even if he had written the note, we want to have sympathy for Ed in that last episode. And we wouldn't have, I don't know. I feel like just without the note, it makes them both wrong and them both right. You know?
And them both stupid.
Yes.
They're so dumb.
They're so fucking dumb.
Yeah. I love it. I love how stupid
I think
they
that's
are.
the
They're so
reason that,
stupid.
we relate to them sometimes. That's a really stupid fucking thing you did. Relatable.
This is why Steady Hands works.
Yeah, they need each other.
They're so fucking stupid.
Steady Hands still needs to be I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
Okay, and this is actually good. Why they're all so fucking stupid. Excellent Steady Hands reason. But what will be the most satisfying Steady Hands moment in season 3 for you? What do you picture? What do you tell us what you want?
Okay. I want so many things. Okay. So if I am writing a proper Steady Hands season 3, so where we have left off, I think that Izzy and Steed are very much in a moment of coming together. I think that is what we see throughout season 2. It's bitch for bitch vibes, but so much affection. Izzy with his hand on Steed's leg in the bar. Fuck
Such
off.
a whore.
You slut.
Yeah.
Giantess slut.
He is just gonna suck that cock.
Yep.
I'm the first mate, just FYI. You know what that means, wink wink.
Yeah. This is part of
the job.
Duties. Just he takes care of business.
Yep.
Anyway, but Izzy and Ed are still very much, I think, in a place where they need healing and need sort of to come together and to actually sort of recognize each other's sort of vulnerability and each other's needs. And I would love to sort of have that kind of journey where you essentially, you have not closed triangle Steady Hands yet, but a trio with Steed as a kind of linchpin. And I would love to see the moment of maybe Izzy and Steed are together in the cabin and I don't know, in their nice fancy robes. And all I need is a shot of just Ed walking in the door and closing it behind him.
Ooh.
Nice.
And so Izzy's in the fancy robe as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Izzy also needs a fancy robe.
Okay.
Yes,
This
like
is what
that.
I've been picturing for a long time. I've been picturing Izzy's development. He eventually gets to a place where he's accepting care from other people as they nurse him back to health.
That's the hard part.
And
That's the tricky part.
he eventually gets to choose the fancy outfit that Steed buys for him.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's
My big. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go.
My big steady hands thing. The thing that works for me is that Ed and Izzy have been together so long that they've had a lot of conflict that's just sort of eroded what they originally had for each other. And I think watching Steed sort of fall for Izzy and respect Izzy, really see all the things that Izzy's doing to manage Ed, to keep just literally making sure the ship's afloat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys, you have to do your jobs. You know what I mean? It's he really is keeping all that shit together. And I think that Steed falling in love with Izzy would be also pointing out to Ed, do you see all these wonderful things? And sort of Ed rediscovering that. And that's sort of that beautiful little, that's the reason why they work for me, is it's Steed falling in love with Izzy, Izzy falling in love with Steed, Ed falling in love with Steed, falling in love with Izzy. It's just a whole melange.
Yeah. I love those stories where Steed has to be like, so did you apologize to Izzy? And it's, yeah, definitely. And then, no, but did you actually apologize to Izzy?
I took his alcohol and I punched him in the leg. It's no, that's not an apology. Yeah. We decided to not talk about it.
They have no emotional development at all until Steed gets there.
Yes, correct.
Beautiful. So I think this is also a good time for Ringa. Share what's the ring? What's the new ring deets?
Okay.
What's the ring deets?
So I just reached out to Alex and was, hey, here's what, he's familiar with the podcast, and I was telling him,
you're so brave, by the way. Oh my God.
I don't just Alex.
He's also our idol and the TV writer we all want to be when we grow up. And
he's the same guy from Cleveland.
Truly beautiful, screen-worthy ass.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I told him what Con had told me and, everything about the ring. And he said, okay, so he said, I don't want to say too much. By the way, again, asked him specifically for this to read on the podcast and then clarified afterwards that I have permission to put this on the podcast, just so you all know this is a thing, and I'm not just saying random shit that people told me. Okay. He said he doesn't want to say too much about the ring because it's more Con's story or secret to tell, and he's not sure how much is out there, but it really evolved on set as it was part of Con's costume. I think he mentioned it to David a little before mentioning to me what he thought the significance of the ring was, and it really changed how I saw Izzy as a character. Writing him before Con was cast, Izzy was more of a irredeemable asshole. But Con brought so much more to the character, so much heart and love and depth. And the significance Con found in the ring was a perfect culmination of what he brought to the Izzy character. And then he says, for season 2, we tried multiple times to explain the ring, but the scenes just never felt right. It always felt we were trying to just get information out and not give it the story it deserved. We also tried, right, with everything in season 2. Very rough. It also felt we were trying to, oh wait, I just read that part. We also tried or thought it would somehow be given to Lucius so he could propose to Black Pete.
That's in the 5 things story that I recorded in the mini-sode last week. That's where Izzy's here. You can use this to give to Pete. Yeah, okay.
Or Blackbeard would take it and either wear it, or we'd allude to him having proposed to Steed with it or something. Ultimately, giving it away never felt quite right either. So
they never really figured out what they were going to end up doing with it.
So basically, as far as the writers go, they had several ideas that just never felt right to them. So what Con has in mind for it, might be slightly different from what had actually happened. But as of right now, nobody knows because nothing ever happened.
Yay!
No. I really the idea, but I like the idea of it being part of Khan's backstory. Back in the day, he was gonna give it to someone that he
Right.
loved.
So Tessa wrote a little thing in one of our discords. It was beautiful that about him, having been in love with someone and it was for them, but yeah.
I have theories. I have two theories that are
Okay, what are your theories?
They're two completely opposite ones. One is just I think it could be actually his mother's ring, that could be the last thing that he had of her, and that's we know that they've talked about that sort of back and forth, and that was something he was going to give to someone, and then that person either died or he tried to give it to them and they left, whatever. My other theory, and this one is more convoluted, but they didn't put all those scars on his back for nothing. And scars on your back isn't a pirate thing. You didn't have big whip sessions in the pirate thing. That's naval. That's a naval background. So I always thought that there was a possibility that he stole it to give to someone, and maybe with a bunch of other stuff, and that was the one piece he managed to keep and then got taken into the Navy as punishment, because that was a thing you could do, because those marks on the back to me really say naval discipline, and he's got an attitude. I don't think he would have had a fun time in the British naval institution.
I when I was writing the little sort of I guess seed of piece of fan fiction in our Discord, I had also connected it to the whip scars, but in my brain it became essentially that he was going to propose to someone who he was in the Navy with, but they were caught.
Lovely.
And Izzy survived the punishment, and his lover didn't.
Yeah, that's rough. That would be great. I mean, horrible, but great. It would be great to read. I'd be very upset with you, but I would enjoy that pain.
But it's also, I think,
can we amend that and have it be like he thinks that his lover died, and then in season 3, when they're up against the wall somewhere.
Yes,
I was actually
former lover.
I was gonna make it Dizzy endgame with the hurt comfort being Steed finding out what happened and then them falling in love with sort of comedy of manners where Steed keeps trying to hook him up with various people and falling in love with him who does so. But I guess, one of the reasons that it's compelling and one of the reasons the show is compelling is just that it's nice to see characters who have lived full lives and in whom that doesn't have to be sort of an ending. It doesn't have to be, oh, you've lived your life and it's over now. It can be, you've lived your life, you've had a really shitty time, you've lost a lot, and now you can still heal and love, sort of learn to sort of...
What if it just begins again?
It just begins again!
I think that's why so many people connect with this. I know that's what Carly has said before, that life begins again. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Let's go through our theories, our wild, even crack theories of who Izzy could give the ring to.
So I asked on social media about what people have headcanons about this. Yeah. And so when we dropped the episode last time and everyone was popping up about it, everyone's freaking out. There's a lot of people saying, well, in my headcanon, that's not what this is. And, in my story, I did something different with it. And that's totally valid. You can think whatever you want. And, there's a lot of mostly positive everythings. But there was a lot of people, no, sorry, I'm not letting anything bad happen to Izzy anymore. Only positive things. And that's also valid. Obviously, this was not something that made it into the show. But I think it's a little bit higher than just a fanon type thing, as it came from Khan himself, so if this is what he was thinking about it the whole time, then it bears a little more weight. But so many people, of course, assumed that he was going to give it to Ed. That's the most common thing, right?
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of people who said, yes, he had a lover before, that it was meant for some reason or whatever, and we don't know about it. This
Felix the
one-
cabin boy.
Felix the cabin boy is one. Someone, when I posted the little snippet of just the reveal part, someone was, yes, I knew Felix was canon, Felix and Izzy, and I was, who? I was with some friends, and I'm like, who's Felix? And some friend of mine who is not even into the show that much was, oh, Felix is the cabin boy that, you know, I was, oh, I forgot about him. Oh my God. But apparently, at least one person really, really wanted Izzy and Felix to be a thing. And so good for them.
Was that person named Felix?
No. No. I don't remember their name, but I was just so confused. Maybe this is an OC or something, but no, I just forgot who Felix was because it was such a random.
He got his Hornigold made him swallow a live crab and chewed out through his stomach, and he died.
But that just goes to show that people in this fandom will take every tiny little bit of information in the show and milk it for everything it's worth, because they're Ed said a name. That means that Izzy was in love with him. Like, yeah. All right.
It's also tight storytelling if every little piece of info that's dropped ends up being a thing that pays off later.
Absolutely. At nhaga9 on Twitter said, my headcanon on the ring, meant for Ed, but never given, and consequently a private personal reminder of his pledge of loyalty. That's why at various moments of distress, he raises his hand to his neck. And yeah,
I'm going to have to rewatch everything with this new knowledge. I haven't.
He doesn't do it as much, but one time in particular that I can recall, not having gone back and watched it again, was the first time that Ed comes out in Steed's clothes in episode 4.
Pearl clutch.
Yeah, he's literally clutching his pearls and holding the ring, you know. What in the hell going on?
Absolutely not.
Or maybe it awakened something in him.
Yeah. And then on Instagram, radical_hysteria said, in my mind, I believe Izzy was either going to give the ring to Steed or Lucius so that they could give it to Peter Ed. It sort of would play with his redemption arc and the idea that he never let himself love. And now I've made myself sad. Exactly.
But I keep on having this idea that it was before meeting Steed and Luce and everyone on Steed's
But that's
ship.
the great thing about it is everybody can have different ideas about it since we don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was probably something further back, you know, that it wasn't just he was going to give it to Ed any day now, or that he had an intention to give it to Lucius for Pete. You know, I think it was about to be given to someone and then something awful happened and he ended up keeping it the whole time. But we'll never
Didn't
know.
they talk about the tattoo in his wrist?
Well, yeah, we mentioned
didn't
in the
make
last
it in.
episode that he had it on his wrist during every scene anyway. You just never see it. So
that sounds something that was meant to give to someone and either couldn't or didn't.
My crack theory is Spanish Jackie.
Oh boy. I mean, there's definitely fics that have them together, but that's an interesting for the ring. That's an interesting thing since he wears it all the time. I loved in that story you read in the epi-teaser in the one part of the 5+1 where he gives it to Ed and Ed's, oh, you kept it, and he's, I've literally been wearing this for 15 years.
Oblivious. I love oblivious Ed. Ed
So
that just
funny.
has no clue. His
What?
favorite. Yeah.
So good.
Irene and Tessa, what are your theories?
I could see him in season 2, the stuff that made it in when Izzy's talking to Steed and saying, you know, for what it's worth, I think you're good for him. I think that it could have been that. He could have been, here, take this, go get your man. Jesus fucking Christ, you too. You know, because he chilled out towards the end. He got sort of more chill. I could see that. I could also see him doing the same thing to Ed, having a come to Jesus moment, going, oh my God, you're being an idiot here. Go get him.
Yeah.
Which would have, I think, actually been incredibly healing for those two characters. But it also could have been Lucius. He gave Lucius the shark.
Yeah.
I definitely, I do really like the idea of it sort of being for someone in his past and being that kind of memento mori kind of thing. And because I mean, yeah, I also I like the way that that gives him a history and a humanity outside of what we get to see in the show, and outside of his connection to Ed and all of the people who he may be sort of connected to in our minds. It sort of gives the character more richness and more depth for me. And I don't know, it gives, there are so many ways you can take it, and I feel that's one of the wonderful things. It's just being able to iterate off that kind of tidbit and say, okay, we can do whatever we want with this now, really.
It
Yeah.
also
Yeah,
makes more sense if you're thinking about it from an acting standpoint, that actors are looking at the character's background because they don't know what's going to happen to the character. They're getting the script. They're having to build the character from the ground up. So it makes sense that it would be backstory to me.
And yeah, and also we know for a fact that these actors were asked to come up with some backstory for their characters,
Mhm.
you know, on their own that wouldn't really have anything going on in the actual show. So he definitely, and I love that Khan gave us just enough of this to where we could, you know, go crazy with it and find different stories that made sense to us or speculate.
Because
And
he's a menace.
he is a menace. I was like, so many people have been saying so many different things and coming up with so many different theories, and he's like, I figured they would. And you know. So and another one that I've seen a bunch is that it was meant for Jack.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
And that, yeah, Tessa's, I am not a Jack person. A lot of Izzy people are, not me, but Tessa is.
What I'm curious. What do you love about Calico Jack, Tessa? Because I'm also I appreciate all the characters. Jack is not one of my favorites, but
He's
I
a
appreciate,
tool
you know.
for the story,
Okay, no,
you know,
okay.
and I appreciate him that way, but go on.
I mean, he is also a tool. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess so here's the thing. When I first saw that character, I was not a fan either. I think there's something really delightful because, okay, there are a number of factors that can play into a kind of personal rehabilitation of Calico Jack if you want to engage in that kind of practice. Among them, we have so we know that he's smart, or at least Ed tells us he's smart. He acts a fucking idiot.
Diabolical, perhaps.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. But the thing is, it's also because his behavior is so extreme, I think it's very possible to read it as a kind of ongoing ploy in that kind of episode, which isn't to say that none of that is sort of part of his personality, but it is to say that he is intensifying how unpleasant he is, specifically because he is trying to be kind of a dick to Steed. And I mean, there are lots of little things you can pull out. You know, the fact that he calls Steed Steve, just Steed calls Izzy Iggy over and over again. And so I think, I mean, the real seed of the sort of Siege Izzy fantasy is that moment right at the end where he calls Izzy a sentimental bastard. And with that, and that sort of just moment that can be read as a kind of genuine fondness from a character who we've seen mostly act a complete dick.
There's a lot of headcanon or people talking on Twitter back in the day about how he is such a dick to Steed because Izzy found him and it was
literally,
you know, that scene in Jackie's where Izzy, oh, and your hair, he said all that to Jack, and Jack's, oh no, someone's
guy.
being mean to my baby girl.
Yep, exactly. And so
I was going to say, I think that one of the things that always strikes me is that Ed's a big dumb fucking idiot. And I think that actually CJ is mirroring him to get in his good graces. He's literally, oh, we're going to do the stupid shit that Ed, we're going to whip balls and throw shit overboard and, you know, stab turtles and shit. And when you actually see him away from Ed, he's a little bit different. He doesn't have that weird frenetic, you know, manic energy that he does in front of Ed. So I think that
just
that's
to clarify, they stabbed the turtle.
Sorry. But I'm going to say this.
no,
I don't think the crab would have stabbed the turtle without having that put into its head. I don't think that's natural.
I don't know.
behavior.
It's Manson. It's the Manson of turtles.
It is very much helter skelter. On
Maybe
the crab
no one
and
had
turtle.
offered that crab a knife before,
But
so
wait,
you don't
wait,
know
no.
what.
We have 6 minutes left, you guys. Let's talk
Now
about
I have to fight about crabs and turtles.
let's talk about
I
fics
thought the
related
turtle
to
stabbed
the lore.
crab.
Hold
What
on,
was-
what?
I thought the turtle stabbed the crab. Didn't the turtle stab the crab?
I don't know which one ended up because we just hear.
It was the turtle. The turtle stabbed the crab because the turtle had the knife and the crab had the pincers. And then the turtle, it was an upset.
I thought the crab had something on it too.
I thought it was a
I
turtle.
Oh no, we'll have
I
to
don't
go.
know.
God, and you call yourself
guys.
Sorry, Lore, let's go.
Okay, fic lore. So Ringa, you said you had some fics.
Yes, I have two actually that aren't the ones that you read for the appetizer. One is a pretty short one that is it's a stizzy fic, but it's pre-relationship, and it's just a cute little one. It's called Lost and Found by a Procrastinating Palindrome, and it's basically Izzy finds his ring is missing, and Steed finds it. So it goes into just a little bit of background of what Izzy's thinking about the ring and stuff. And then there's a series that I kind of in the middle of now. I've read 2 out of 4 of the works in the series. And the series is called Coax You Out. And it is by TempoCon, TEMPOCON. And the first story in the series is called How to Rest. And that's the big one. It's 33K, and all the other ones are little bits off of that. And so it's more of this is post season 2, and Izzy has survived, and they have him in the inn, and they're trying to nurse him back to health, and the ship has sailed off, and there are the 3 of them in the inn together, and it's not about the ring, but there is a very lovely scene near the end of the story where Izzy talks about the ring and tells you the background of the ring, and it's very much in line with what I think a lot of us have thought since Khan said this about the ring, with who it was going to be significant for earlier in his life. So that one's a really good one. I like that story a lot. It's got some smut, but it's not entirely smut, and there's some sword fighting and general shenaniganery.
Which is also smut.
fighting.
Yes.
Is it coke you out or coax you out?
Coax. COAX.
Okay.
Coax you out. Yes. And Tessa, do you have?
I do. Yes. Okay. So I have a couple. The first one is also quite short, and both of these are sort of less drawing because these are both pre-Khan having told us this. So these are sort of going with the prior sort of dominant headcanon of Izzy receiving it from somebody. So the first one is called Emerald by Aliu Ice 0814. And summary is that once a year, Izzy falls asleep and finds himself in his mother's house again. And so it's this very sort of intimate and slightly melancholy, but very sweet picture of that relationship in a way. And then the second one, this one is not complete. I have it on good authority that it will be completed. It has not been completed for various personal life reasons, but it is ongoing. And so that one is And Yet the Birds Begin to Sing by Unopposable Thumbs, which is and it's
what was the title again? Can you
sorry, and Yet the Birds Begin to Sing, and so it's a very sort of Ed Izzy kind of focused fic, and it does sort of open with this sort of these moments between Izzy and Ed, sort of the origin of this ring and its meaning kind of in their relationship, which is quite fun and nice. Yes. And there's fucking in it. So
Yay.
Beautiful. Any other fic recs from anybody?
I have one. It's not ring centric,
That's
but
okay. Give it.
I am reading The Island by Tried Untrue. So Tried and then UNTURE. And if you want Steady Hands that also has an extra steed and some interesting 4-way smut, it's really bonkers. And
wait, an
I'm
extra
enjoying it.
steed is in there's 2 steeds?
There's 2 steeds.
Oh,
It's a 2 universes, and the less said about it, the better, because
Okay.
it's very interesting the way that they take it. It's very believable, and having a steed having to deal with steed is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
That's
This
exactly
sounds
what he
amazing.
needs.
Yeah, it's great. It is completely bonkers, but I love it.
I think I have read that one. It is fantastic. I love it so fucking much.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm gonna read that one tonight, actually. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, so wrapping things up.
Before we go, I did want to do this shout out for the Our Flag Means Slay drag thing that we talked about.
Yes.
Oh yes, tell us all about it.
Okay, so if you're going to C2E2, you hopefully already have a ticket to this because it's sold out for seeing it live. But there's this thing called Our Flag Means Slay, and a friend of mine, Eli, also known as Fine Things Well, is the runner of the show. And I reached out to them for a little blurb, and they wrote, started last year when Eli had a crazy idea for a drag number. Our Drag Means Slay is back again for year 2, showcasing the best amateur drag the Midwest has to offer. ODMS is a show that celebrates self-expression, philanthropy, and of course, passion for this amazing gay pirate show. This year, we are benefiting the Lighthouse Foundation, a Black LGBTQ+ led multiracial social justice organization that advances justice for Black disadvantaged LGBTQ+ youth on the South Side of Chicago. Join us April 27th at 6 p.m. Live stream tickets out now. So if you didn't get a ticket to the show in person, or if you are not in Chicago, you can get a ticket to the live stream and watch it on your computer in your home. And I'm sure we can put a link in the show notes to that. Wonderful.
Thank you. Yay. And all you guys will do what are you working on? Where can people find you? Tessa.
God, where can people find me? Don't find me. I don't.
Could not be perceived.
You have to search all of Canada.
Yes. Where in the world is Tessa the hidden last name?
Perfect. But what are you working on?
Oh God, what am I working on? I'm working on a lot of things, and I am sort of editing a novel right now. So that is.
Irene, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram. It's the same handle, _Irene_Adler. And currently I'm working on a spec script for
you say?
Yeah, a queer dramedy that's kind and funny and explores what that world is actually versus what you've seen on television or movies, which is bullshit.
Yay.
I love. And Carly, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, I'm Slaying Chilean, and you can also find me on Instagram as Fangirl Photo. I've got another 13 or so posts for Instagram to finish with WonderCon and the pictures that I took. But A, I'm needing to finish editing them all. It's a lot of work. And B, I've run out of cosplay for Our Flag Means Death that I ran into at WonderCon. So I just made myself sad because there just weren't enough of, Our Flag Means Death cosplayers there. So processing the knowledge that over time it's going to be less and less. That makes me so sad. So what I've been doing is actually through my Instagram page is interweaving almost every other picture from WonderCon that isn't Our Flag Means Death, putting in something related to Our Flag Means Death. So if anybody needs a slow drip of serotonin, you can find me on Instagram at Fangirl Photo, and you'll see a lot of last year's pictures, whether it was from Gay Pirate Day at the Strike or ECCC or New York Comic Con, just all the pictures that I've been processing and editing and slowly interweaving with everything else happening in my life on that page.
Carly, are you going to be at any of the Galaxy cons?
I'll be in San Jose.
Okay.
If I can get a rich sugar mommy and daddy together.
I have 2 new Izzy cosplays. I'm doing a beach Izzy that's fucking ridiculous.
Beach
and
Izzy!
I'm doing a full leather unicorn costume.
Oh,
Ugh.
fuck yeah.
That
It's
sounds
Izzy
incredible.
Corn. Yeah. So please
Yes.
come and let's do a shoot.
Yeah,
Beach
Southwest.
Izzy.
We're on it.
His
Beach
job
Izzy.
is beach. His
Should
job is
wear
His
beach.
job is beach
Izzy.
because I get hot easily and I'm going to Raleigh and I need to not wear full leather to Raleigh. So
Mhm.
that's
Also-
Beach
Wear the
Izzy.
beach Izzy
But
to
wait.
Columbus as well.
But wait,
Do it.
no. Because you need a beach steed, because then you can be beach for beach.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
All right.
I
All
would
right,
totally
we need
do
it.
a beach steed in
Yes.
Columbus.
Yes.
To be beach in.
Do it. Oh my god.
Amazing.
And let's do a group photo with that, please.
And Ringa, what are you working on? Where can people find you?
So you can find me on all the socials at Ringa Sunn, RINGASUNN. I will be at Fan Expo Philly the first weekend of May. I'm not vending there myself, but I'm helping my friend Fixation Forest to vend. So I'll be around. She has some brand new Ooh Daddy earrings. So if you're listening to this and you're an Izzy fan, you need to come check her out and get some Ooh Daddy earrings. And
The
then
person wearing the daddy shirt is very excited.
yeah, she's
I
give
see.
it to me.
Ringa,
Yes,
will you grab
I'll get
me
you
some
a pair,
Daddy?
yeah.
Thank you.
I will get you a pair, yes. And then I'm just, again, prepping for my Calypso birthday at the end of May
Oh,
at Harold's
amazing.
Haunt in Pittsburgh.
Which is amazing. And if you're ever in Pittsburgh, you should absolutely go to Harold's Haunt. It's fantastic. I'm sober and they have great mocktails. So you should check them out.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm Carly Heath, and you can find my book, The Reckless Kind, at a bookstore wherever books are sold. And follow the Our Flag Means Fanfiction podcast on Instagram at Our Flag Means Fanfiction, all one word. Until next time.